Okay, good afternoon once again. Today we'll be discussing about SQL. And from the word SQL, let me try to open my notes here. From the word SQL, SQL means structured query language. So you told me the other time that you would be needing SQL in our data analysis training program. So what do I want to type? Okay. So SQL means structured query language, structure query language. So you already have, you can call it SQL or you can also call it SQL. Whichever one, both of them are correct. Do you understand? You can
Mm.
call it SQL, we can call it SQL. So now the first question would be, why are we using SQL and why are we
Mm.
using SQL?
Mm.
So I think we are already in 10th class already. I'm sorry, let me try to open this. Hello, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to open this thing. I don't know why it's not opening.
Mm. It's fine.
Okay, so I believe you can see my screen now.
Yes,
So
I can.
SQL is also called structured. The full meaning, SQL is actually an acronym for structured query language, as I told you earlier. So it is actually used to interact database. Now you ask me, what is a database? A database is like an organization of collection of data stored. Now these are just big English, which is basically why I don't like using them. Database is just columns and rows, which we have been doing in Excel and Power Query. Those rows and columns are what the thing we have been doing now is what we call database. But because this is a large data set, you and I already told you that Excel has a limitation. Can you remind me what's the limitation of Excel again?
It has limitations to the number of rows the number of data
Ex-
sets it can accept.
It can, yeah, exactly. And which is why this database can virtually contain all number. It doesn't have limit to data it can accept. So it is like you are storing your rows and column in the cloud. I mean, you will have read about a lot about
Yes.
iCloud, probably,
Mm.
yeah. So basically, this particular SQL is now the code we use to interact with the database that is stored in the cloud. Remember, when we were doing Excel, the rows and column, the data set is something you can visibly interact with because they are inside Excel. We are the one that type it there. Now
Mm.
this one, it's not something you can visibly interact with. It is inside the cloud.
Mm.
We really do not call it a cloud-based storage, but then I
Mm.
guess you understand what I'm saying. So now,
Mm.
why do we store data on this database? So trillions of data can be stored. I told you trillions of data cannot be stored in
Mm.
Excel. Security issue also. Remember, because Excel is easily accessible, right? Someone can just change their salary from 20,000 to 50,000. You would not even know, would you?
Mm.
But
No.
if it is something you need expertise to interact with. Definitely, it would limit people that would be able to interact with the numbers or with the values there. So, which means it enhances the security. Also, better decision making. It is very simple. Excel and SQL is just like you are speaking in English. So the more you know how to speak in English, the more you can interact with Excel.
Mm,
And information are really available. So now
mm.
we call something database management system. Now these rows and column, they can be, the way we have Excel. Have you heard about Google Sheets before?
About what?
Google Sheets.
No.
So Google Sheets, I think I should actually teach you that. So let me just open my Google Sheets here. Sorry, it used to be somewhere. Um, yeah, maybe tomorrow. I don't think I have plans for it today. Let
Okay.
me try to. Okay, this is I should see my Google Sheet. I can just press my Google Sheet. How am I doing this? I can just press Google Sheet here. So it's basically like but it works online. You get so let's see how it looks like. It's basically like how's the network? Um, Sorry, it's taking long.
It's a,
So it's okay. Uh, I'm doing this kind of- let's do this thing tomorrow. I
okay.
don't know. It's basically just like zeros and column. So now this is also SPSS. SPSS.
Mm,
Look at how it looks like. SPSS is just like a statistical Excel statistical program, and you can see it majorly looks like what you have been doing, right?
mm,
It looks like the rows and columns that you have been interacting with. The same thing
mm,
with Google Sheets also. It looks very easy. Something like the interface looks like something you know already, right?
mm,
So, which is why Excel is actually the best to learn because all of those things, Google Sheets, Excel. So now we also have database management system. That is, these are the apps. We have different apps that we can store our database inside. So we have my SQL. Can you see this is a database here. We also have different one. We have Oracle, we have BigQuery, we have Postgres SQL. These are just like the name of the apps that you can use. Do you
mm,
get to store your database? So the way
mm,
there will be some people that want to store their rows and column on Google Sheets. Do you
mm.
get? There will be
Yeah.
some people that want to store it on Excel, and there will be some people that want to store their data sets on SPSS. Either way,
Mm,
all of them can do the same thing. Do you
mm.
get?
Yes.
So I can use my SQL. Someone else might be using PostgreSQL. Maybe I'll just show you the spelling. So we have quite a number of them. So you can see we have MySQL, which is basically what I've been saying. We
Mm,
have my SQL. You can call it SQL. You can call it SQL. So we have MySQL, we have Oracle, we have PostgreSQL, we have SQL Server, we have Database Management Studio. We have quite a lot of them, sha. So what can this database management do? This particular, it's just like saying what can Excel do? So Excel can create the data sets, like you can easily create your data set there. You can also manipulate, that is, you can do data transformation there. So you can also update, that is, you can correct information, manipulate information, you can update data sets and you can also delete data set. I mean, you've been doing all of these things. It's just like twisting of what Excel is doing. Remember,
Mm.
the knowledge is transferable. So now we have two type of database. We have relational database and we have non-relational database. So when you say relational database, basically it's just like data set that are stored in rows and columns, which is basically what we are focusing on. Why non-relational database? It's something like we call this no SQL. That is NO, no SQL. That's basically what they call non-SQL. The NO standing for non-relational SQL. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are trying to get the number of uh how do I start this? Now let's say you are a movie director, right? You
Mm.
release a movie you release a movie and you send the link on Twitter. So now on Twitter, you want to know how many positive comments you have about the film and or
Mm.
about the movie, and you want to know how many negative comments you have about the film, about the
Mm.
movie. So now the first thing is if you are collecting all of this information, would they be in rows and column?
Yes.
No, they won't. It is comments. It is you that would now put it in
Oh,
rows and
was
column. Would they won't be in rows and column, right? When you
yes.
are commenting, do you see it in rows?
No,
No.
no.
So that's what we call NoSQL. That it is not a relational database. Do you get
Mm.
all of these relational database? Now let's say you do a Google form. Whenever you are trying to retrieve a Google form, you would
Mm.
see you would see um you would see rows and column. So that's what we
Mm.
call a relational database. Basically, you understand now. So now let's move to what a MySQL looks like. So now, after the class, I will send you how to download SQL. Right? You will
Mm.
follow the link. You will download it before the next class, which is tomorrow. You have to
Okay.
download it before the next class. So, but today, it's very easy. Maybe I'll just walk you through before the experience. So it won't be like a very strange thing. So the first thing is how to go to my SQL.com. So quick one, are you using Mac or Windows computer?
No, Windows.
Okay, so the next thing is obviously you want to download my SQL. So you click on my SQL download. So then you scroll down. So you see something like my SQL community GPL download here. So
Mm.
you click on this. So it is asking you where do you want to select it because you are using Windows. I'm also using Windows here. So
Mm.
you click on for Windows here. So this is the latest version. We actually have quite a number of versions. Can you see? This is like
Mm.
one of the early version, and obviously you want to click the updated version, right? So it is
Mm.
asking what's your operating system? Is it Microsoft Windows? Is it Excel? So now you
Mm.
can see we have two type of SQL here. You have the one that is just using 2 MB and the one that would use 556 MB. Which one would you have suggested? This one will have a lot of functionality. The one with 556 MB. So you want to click on download. And once you click on download, it will start downloading. So let me click on download. You can see it's already
Mm.
downloading and it is 556 MB. So
Mm.
I will cancel it because I already have it on my own system. You get it. I already
Mm.
have it installed on my system. Sorry, let me start to cancel this. So I already have it installed on my own system, but then we will just leave it for it to download. So after downloading, there is this installation process, which is quite quite tedious a little bit, but you just have to follow the video step by step. By now, you should be able to download SQL
Mm.
very easily now. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So now let's just look at my own. So without further ado, because I know even with your laptop, so you should not waste so much time when you can do that at your leisure time.
Mm.
So let's just click on my own. So it will come up like something like this. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Sure. So now the first thing you need to click on and have something like this. So you see something like local instances. So you have to click on this one. So click. So it should be something like this for you. So which is basically very easy now. These are our workspace. This is where we type stuff
Mm.
to. And you can easily see that this is where we type our query. They call it query instead of code. And as I told you earlier, because you heard code doesn't mean it is hard. It means it is just English words. I told you that the more you know how to speak, you don't even need to be good in English speaking, honestly. The more you can just reason. In as much you can communicate with the use of English, then you can
Mm.
do SQL codes. It's not like all those tedious codes. It's just English. So this is where you
Mm.
write all the codes. Well, we don't call it code, we call it query. This is where you write all the queries, right? So now we have like three buttons here. So you can see this particular button is blue now. So when I click on it, you can see the navigator pane is now gone. So when
Mm.
I click on this view, you can see I can see my own navigator pane and I can also see my information pane also here. So when
Yeah.
you click on this one, when you click on this particular button, that means this particular output. This is where you see your output. So when I click on this button, can you see I've
Mm.
eliminated the output there. So now there's also one here, which is basically SQL addition. Most of the time we don't use this addition. So most of the time this one is usually permanently permanently removed. Which why did she? Because we majorly we use this navigator pane, we use this information pane, and also this output pane. So this
Mm.
is how we usually leave our SQL. So now this output pane, what does it mean? What is its significance? So now when you type a query, this output is where you would see, okay, is this code, is it correct? Is it wrong? So this one, well, if it is wrong, it will show you the time. Maybe the code took a second to run. So it will actually
Mm.
show that it is 1.1 seconds there. So it will show you that if it is action, will tell you that okay, this in this syntax is correct.
Mm.
If it's an error syntax, it will show you that okay, this syntax is not correct. Now this message, it will show you that okay, this thing is run, this thing does not run. Maybe there's an error message. This is where we get our error message. And from that error message is there's something we call debugging. From the word bug, it means like there's an error. So when you say
Mm.
debugging, that means you are trying to fix the
Mm.
error. You are trying to fix the mistake. So it is from
Mm.
this mistake that you know that okay, this is what I was supposed to do. This is not what I was supposed to do. Okay.
Mm. Yes.
So now under this information pane, you have two different buttons. You have the administration button, then you have the schema button. So most of the time, this schema button is just more about the
Mm.
table that we have. While the administration is more like the settings, which majorly we don't use. You can see you have the client connection, you have the data export, trying to export data, you have importing data, all of those things that we'll be doing.
Mm.
They're very easy and nice, but majorly we don't use that. Also, under this information thing, sorry, that's under navigator thing. Under this information thing, you will see the column header there. You can see the column area. So now let's go to our schema. So under this schema, there's something we call database. Database, as I told you earlier, is rows and column. So this store is a database. So if I click on this drop down here, it will show you that there is a table here, right? So I will
Mm.
actually load one table there. So if you click on this table sign, please can you see my screen very well?
Yes, I can.
So if you click on this table sign, can you see something just like the Excel?
Mm. Mm.
You get.
Yeah.
So it's just like you uploaded your data set in the Excel. And I think we have done something like this. We have done something like this together. the stock out flag, remember, the
Mm.
revenue. Yeah, so it's just here. That means there's a way to actually upload data sets from CSV into our SQL. So now this is what I called our result, our output thing. Now it is showing that okay, this particular query that I've written is this message is saying that okay, 1,000 rows are returned. That means this data set is how many rows? Is 1,000
That,
rows. And it is showing you the number of times that it is showing that it used 0 seconds to run, which is pretty fast, right?
yeah.
So now this is an example of query. You can see this is actually a code, right? But it is like
Mm.
a query. So now, if I click on this table, now look at this page, there's nothing here now. But if I click on this
Mm.
table, can you see? I click on the report. Can you see? I'm seeing all the column header. We have
Mm.
the store name, we have the sales channel, we have the product category, all of the
Mm.
um all of the column header here. So now
Yeah.
under this on the top here we have the tabs, which is basically what we have been using since Excel. So we have our file tab, we have our edit tab, we have our view tab, query tab, database. This is we have our server, we have all of these tabs. So we'll walk you through the use cases of all of them as time goes by. Do you understand?
Mm.
So now, is this your first interaction with SQL? Let me ask.
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, now looking at this particular interface, does it look complex that you don't understand a thing about it?
Not really. It doesn't.
It looks
It's
like
not.
something.
It's not that bad.
Exactly. It's not that bad. That means it is bad. It's bad a little bit. As if it's not that
It's
bad. That
just that
means
the way it's kind of
yeah.
like splitted into different parts, you can get confused, kind of.
So but it's not like it's not
I
intimidating
can
then.
still like relate.
Yeah, you can relate. So now let's start. So basically, we've done the impossible, introducing you to the surface interface, and one of the best things will be when you start with it tonight. Hopefully, you download the SQL today. So when you
Mm.
start with it tonight, it will be very very easy because you already know that okay, this is how to go about it. And
Mm.
again, you have to watch the recording because you're actually tracking your progress.
Mm.
Now and then you're tracking, you have to watch the recording because it makes our work faster. And you would also
Mm.
see, because I don't think you know the significance or how big what you have achieved together is. Because we've just used 3 weeks and
Yeah, I
look
was
at
even
what we can
telling
do.
this thing the other day. He was surprised that we even got into dashboard. He said, when did we start?
Exactly. Exactly. So you would not know the importance of these little things that I keep enforcing on you. I know you don't
Mm.
have time. You are a student, you are working, you are not feeling fine. You do a lot of stuff that I don't even know about. But then these little things, they are very, very important because
Mm.
it just speed up your progress. You would not even know. But then it speed it up.
Mm.
Okay. So just do what I say, right? It is I know it's not easy. It's not easy for me also. Right.
Mm.
So let's just do what is right. So just give me a minute, please.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you sorry.
Okay, you were muted before.
Oh, I'm coming.
Mm. I'm not watching your movie again.
Okay. So now can we start with the query now? I hope
Okay.
you okay, now let's start with the query. So now let me try some logic so you see very can you see it better? Can you see it better on your phone?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, yeah, and in case you can't say anything, please just try to tell me. Right. So, let's start. So now, I want you, let's paint a scenario on our edge before we do anything. So, there is a faculty, right? There's, let's say, pharmacy faculty. Right.
Mm,
You wanted to call someone in faculty of pharmacy. The person is
mm,
in 200 lesson and the person is a male. So
mm.
how would you describe the person to other person? The
How will
person you
I
are
this?
referring to. Should I repeat the question?
Yeah.
There is someone, there is someone in faculty of pharmacy, 200 level,
Mm,
department, 200 level, department of pharmacy, of obviously, faculty of pharmacy, department of pharmacy, 200 level, and the guy is a male. So how
mm.
would you describe the person to another person?
Yeah. Not a student, something like that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of students in the world. There's a student in 400 level, 500 level. How would you be specific?
Mm,
Okay, let me rephrase the question. You are meant to call someone. Okay, you are meant to call. You enter a school and there is a security officer there. So
mm,
they ask you, who are you looking for? But then you deep down, you know you are looking for someone in the faculty of pharmacy, 200 level department of pharmacy. How would you describe the person to the porter or to the security officer there?
I'll probably like mention the person's department and the level.
So you will say, select, you will say, call me this particular guy, probably if he has a name, or you can say,
Yeah.
call me that guy in 200 level pharmacy
Mm,
department. Right.
mm,
Basically, that's what this select from. So what are we trying to select? Now let's say I know you don't understand how this table got here, but now
mm,
let's work with it. Let's say we are trying to select. What are we selecting? We are trying to select store name. That is, we want only this column. So we are trying
mm,
to select store name. Where can we find our store name? We can find our store name in this table. What is the name of this table? The name of the table is what? Retail. So we say, call me the store name from where?
mm.
From retail.
Retail.
But once retail. So, but once you write retail, the name of the table is not actually retail. It's stored at retail. But we get
Mm,
there. Don't worry. So, so can you see? It is calling only store name, even though there are a lot of columns there. But you are
mm,
specific. You are saying that call me this in this. So this is like call me the guy. Let's name the guy sitting now. So call me sitting from Department of Pharmacy. Do you get?
mm. Yes.
Which is very, very easy. So now let's say you are trying to, because you can see the column header here. So now let's say I want to say the revenue only. So I'll say select what? Revenue
Yeah.
from dot detail. So there are two buttons here. You can use any to actually run this. So let's use the first one. Can you see? I can see all
Mm,
my revenue. So if I click on the second one also, it will also run. Can you see? And you can see
mm.
something like growing. That means I have not returned any error. So do you understand this now? Okay.
Yeah. I get.
Now let's say I want to call all of them. I want to call everyone in this particular table. So instead
Mm,
of writing the name of the columns, I'll just
mm,
write star asterisk. So this asterisk will be like, okay, I want all of them. So
mm,
now I use a shortcut. I use Control Enter and I hold on to my control, then I press Enter. Do you get? That's like the shortcut to run it. Do you get? Now you can see this number 6 now. So if I hold my control, then I hold my enter. Can
yeah.
you see that is 7? So if I click
Mm,
on this one, can you see it is running? That's number 8. If I click on this one, can you see it is running? That's number 9. So you can use any of this method to run your query. Do you
yeah.
get? Should I
Okay.
go over it again?
Yeah, continue.
Continue, okay. So that's basically the first thing you need to know. Um Sorry, let me check my notes. Okay. Okay. So now we have what do you call it? We have something we call keyword.
Mm.
So now what would you say the keyword? Now look at this particular stuff that we've written here. What's different? What's the difference? What is something obvious that you can tell me
From the words, Abby.
from the query? From the query. We don't call it word, we don't call it code, we call it query.
Yeah, he said what's the difference?
No, like what's something obvious in this um what do you call it? What's something obvious in this particular query?
Yeah, probably the color.
The color, some
Mm.
are written in what, some are written in what?
Oh,
Some are written in what color? That was
blue,
the question.
blue,
Why some others are written in what?
black.
Exactly. Which is basically different. The one that are written in blue are what we call keywords. Why the one
Keywords.
that are written, yeah, keywords. Let me write it down. So we call them keywords. So we have a number of keywords. We have select, we have from, we have where, we have and. You can see when I'm writing this, they are changing to what? Blue color. We have
Blue.
we have case, we have what else? We have other one. We have limit. We have a number of them. I won't even lie. I can't even remember them currently, but we have a number of them. What else do we have? We have that's partition down. Okay. You don't need. We need all of these. We'll talk about all of these though. But then you don't need to be scared. So this is what we call keywords. Now there's something about keywords that needs to be professional. Anything that's keywords, it has to be in capital letter.
Mm.
It is not now. Remember, this one, this select that I used, was it in capital letter? No.
No.
From, was it all in capital letter? No. Did it run when we ran in the other time? Yes, it did run. That means SQL does not actually care if it is uppercase or it is lowercase. But there is something we call professionalism tone. You get for every keyword you have to add. If I actually look my query, I think I had a query. Or it is gone. So you will see something like so whenever you want to write the correct way of writing this thing would be something like this. You have to write like this. Select, select asterisk from. Now this makes it look professional. Do you get this one
Yeah.
now? I can just highlight this one now and run it. So it
Mm.
is showing that now number 10 is showing that these are our message, right? So it is showing. I want you to see something. Look at this message. It's showing that this. It's showing that select star from this one. You have an error in your SQL. Can you see? Showing that this error message is showing that you have an error in your SQL syntax. So it is for me to now check that okay, where is the error coming from? Anyway, before we debug it, so I can just highlight this one, then click on the first one here. Can you see plan? But then you
Mm.
understand why we are doing this. So For every query you've completed, can you see I'm done with this particular query, this one answer, this one
Mm.
thing, I'm done with them. So for at the end of that query, you should end it with a semicolon. So Excel will actually know that okay, I said Excel.
SQL.
SQL, SQL will know that you are done with this particular line of code. Now when I remove it,
Mm.
look at something. When I remove, if I add this one, okay, it's not showing here.
Mm.
So now look at this one now. This keyword, you can see there is a lingering line here.
Mm.
So SQL thinks this line here
Mm.
is a continuation.
Mm.
Select star is a continuation of this line, which is not so. Remember,
Mm.
this keyword is just like something I said randomly, and this is actually
Yeah.
supposed to be the query, right? So now, maybe after this one, I can just add a semicolon. Now, look at this line. Can you see it on your phone?
Yes, I can.
So now, once I add a semicolon, what can you see? You can see that there is a dot here. Let me remove the dot. Can you see there is no blue dot here?
Okay.
Once you add this one now, I press and enter. It is showing that okay, this is actually a new column, a
Mm.
new, a new. So it is already SQL already understand that okay, this is a this is a query. This is also a full query. This is also a
Is it
full
like
query.
you?
Now
Is it like you inserting column like you normally do in Excel or what?
I don't understand that question.
Like this column you just inserted now.
What is the column?
This five, the fifth one. I'm saying something like a column there.
I just press enter now.
Okay.
I don't have to press. It's just like you are typing.
Okay.
It's just like you are typing. Can you see? I can just press
Mm.
enter and another thing will come up.
Okay. Okay.
Not like I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
It's just writing. So now, there's something we call comment also.
Mm.
Now, I want to ask you a question. This particular, this particular keyword, do you think we intend to make it a code? This particular line here,
Yeah.
is it a code? Was it a code when we were writing it? It was just something I want you to take note of, Abby.
Mm.
So it is a comment. So now for SQL to know that this is a comment, you will add two minus in front of it. Can you see? It blew
Mm.
everything out.
Okay.
I don't think you understand what is
I
happening.
get
Look at this
immediately you
one now.
added
There is
yeah.
immediately I added this one now. There is a linking code. Now look at this one now. If I click on this negative sign, how
Mm.
I wish you are on your system. But if you can't see it very well, just zoom in on your mix.
Mm.
It should actually show. Now there is
I
a
can
negative
see.
sign here.
Mm.
There's a negative sign here. If you click on this negative sign, can you see I can't see my select again? That means
Yeah.
I've collapsed it. So I can also expand it here by clicking on the positive sign here. So
Mm.
and actually this keyword is just like a comment, which is not supposed to be part of our
Mm.
query. So
Mm.
once I comment it out by adding two negative sign and clicking space,
Mm.
can you see the LinkedIn line has left?
Yeah.
So that's the way to make it a comment. Now, if you're showing there's a red button here, you're saying that okay, there's a mistake here. This is not supposed to be. This comment is not supposed to be here. So when you click on this particular um red, it's showing that comment is not valid at this position. Can you see? So once I
Mm.
comment it out of okay, I'm not even trying to write a code. This is just like a comment. So can you see the red sign, the red cancellation sign left?
Mm.
Do you get? So there are
Yes.
two ways you can make a comment. It's either you are using your negative sign or you use something like this, the left backslash and asterisk.
Mm.
Can you see? So you can even do that one in multiple lines. So if I do that one now, can you see? Even though I'm
Mm.
not writing any my negative here, it has blew everything out. So I can
Mm.
just end it like this. So can you see? So that means
Mm.
when you are using this particular this one, it is used for multiple line comments. This particular style of commenting, the asterisk and the star, and the stroke and the star, and the stroke and the star. Can you see? I only need two
Mm.
of them. But if it is the negative sign you are using, so it has to be true. So you have to like comment it one by one. Can you see? That one only
Mm.
works for one line. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So now, if I run this one now, Control Enter, I can use this one also. Whichever one I'm using. Can you see it is not returning any error message?
Mm.
Now let's look at this error message here. It is saying that select star from store details. It's saying that keyword select from Lincoln. You can see this keyword here. I don't know, but
Mm.
you can see it here. Keyword here. So it
Mm.
is showing that there's an error message. Now with debug it, we already know what is causing error. Now, to actually prevent future error for this number is because we're already done. We have to end it with what? It is semicolon.
Mm.
We end it with a semicolon. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. Nice and easy. So now we have different we have different what do you call it? Different I can just move this one like this. So we have data type. I mean by now you already know what data type is. Let me try
Mm.
to keep it like this. So now you can see this is our transaction ID. The data type is int. From the word int, what does it mean? That's integer. So integer means a whole number. That means you already understand. You already expect transaction ID to be
Mm.
integer. So what about string? It is saying that it's text. What does that mean? I mean that's using
Mm.
or it's not using.
It is.
So I mean now you already know what is expected in this unit float. Looking at this
Mm.
our unit float, can you see this number? Then we
Mm.
have discount apply. Can you see this number here?
Mm.
Discount apply. Then I mean these are just text and age. But we
Mm.
have we have different type of different type of data types. Now let's just look at that. So we have I mean you already understand what the full
Mm.
meaning of means, which is what's the meaning
Integer.
of means exactly, which is basically 0 to 9, right? So we
Mm.
have floats. Can you try what would float mean?
Float.
Yeah, floats. When you see something is float data type, what do you mean? Do you know it? So it means
No.
decimal. It means decimal. So when you have something like 4.3, so this is a float. It means something decimal. Anything after the decimal, that's a float. So what about
Mm.
text? What does text mean?
Like word and numbers.
What are
Word.
numbers there?
Word. Just
Yeah,
word.
no, it is veg. Chilling.
Mm. Letters.
Um, letters basically. We also have decimal actually. What about date? What does it mean?
Which one?
Date.
Dates. That would be months and
Yeah, that would be date. Yeah.
mm.
We have quite a number of them. So let me just look at this. Let's look at this together. So you already know what int or integer means now. So when you see something like small int, big int, it's just signifying how large the number is. Okay.
Mm.
So when you see small int, it can be like maybe 1 to 10. Maybe big int can be like 1 billion. You understand? Just like
Mm.
the how big the integer is. But all of them are still int. You understand? They are still int.
Mm.
They already know decimal. I mean that's easy. Then we have float. I think I've talked about that. So we have so we have text. I think you already know what text is. So okay. So Vasca, So there's something we call VACA. Shimba. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
So, okay, this VACA is variable character.
Mm.
Variable character. Now, what's the meaning of variable character? This shooting. How many letters are this shooting?
6.
Six. So you write something like this, VACA 6. That means this variable is six
Mm.
letters word. Do you
Mm.
get? So it's still text, but it is a type of text. Do you get? Most of the time we use VACA actually. So when you see something like Balkis, so this one will be what? VACA what?
7.
Exactly. So that one you still understand. But then we use VACA when we are discussing or we are talking about text. You get?
Mm.
Okay, so now, I mean, all these date and times, yeah, these are very easy. Then, do you know what Boolean is?
Mm. Mm.
So, so Boolean is just true or false. When you see
Okay.
something like Boolean, it just means
Mm.
what? True
True or false?
or false. So now, remember, I want to ask you a question now. All of these things that we start here, they are multiple column, and they are actually supposed not to be a query. These are just comments because I'm just teaching you. Right?
Mm.
So, how do I comment all of this out?
How do
Should
you
we use
comment? Yeah.
when you say comment it out, that is, there's a cancellation sign here, which is actually
Yeah.
telling that, okay, this thing is not actually a query.
Mm.
So how do I comment it out? I told you just now. We have two type of comments. There's one comment that we use for multiple line. There's one that we use for single line. So these comments, we have like 5 lines of comments
We
now.
make use
So
of
how
the
do,
multiple one.
what's the multiple one? How do I go about it?
Mm.
I, I told you now. So we use star and asterisk.
Okay.
Remember, can
Yeah.
you see everything now? If I click on this one,
Mm.
let me see. Let me expand it. Let me reduce. So can you see? All of them now, there's no cancellation sign anywhere because I've
Mm.
commented everything out. Do this.
Mm.
So that's actually a lot for first class. Do I want to go any further?
Because
How do
everything
I
is
need to
already
teach?
written somewhere.
What do you say?
It's everything
He's
is already
making.
written somewhere.
He's what? He's looking somewhere already. Okay, let's stop here for today then. Don't let me make you feel somehow.
Maybe
You
if
know
I
what?
actually like
When
get home
go
and look
over
at
there,
my system.
yes, please try to watch it.
Now,
Please
yeah.
try to watch the recording. And after this class, I would
Mm.
let's just- after this class, I would try to upload it as fast as possible. You get
Okay. Yeah.
so that's fine.